Hello everyone, my name is Hectic and welcome back to another GTA guide video. Yes, this is a business guide, and today it is over the hangar. I finally bought the hangar so I could do a guide over this. However, the business aspect of this, I'm not doing quite a guide over this because it kind of sucks. I'll get into that in a minute here. But I do have enough information that I can explain it to you. So the hangar is a way you can make business money in GTA Online. Plus, it's a good storage space for your aircraft, like planes and helicopters. So how do you buy one? Maze Bank foreclosures. You go to hangars. Which ones should you buy? Here, this one has some strategic value as far as what do you want to buy. Yes, they can go for as little as $1.2 million if you buy the ones at LSIA. Which that's fine. If you want to get the ones at Fort Zancudo, they'll cost you about $2 to $3 million while doing that. Yes, keep that in mind as well. So why would you want to buy the more expensive ones? If you buy the ones at Fort Zancudo, when entering Fort Zancudo, you will no longer get a wanted level while doing that. So that can be strategic for having a hangar here at Fort Zancudo, which I happen to have one because I'm taking advantage of that. Now, whether that applies to when you do missions near Fort Zancudo, whether you get a wanted level or not, I believe that does not apply. But I believe that's like for free mode only. Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure as far as that's. But if you want that strategy, you can, and that means something to you, and you want access to a military base, buy the one in Fort Zancudo or one of the ones. If not, buy the ones in LSIA. They're fine. They're basically the same interior layout. So let's get into the buying of this. What else should you get? Your choice whether you want to get the aesthetic upgrades or not. I'd still recommend not doing that unless you have a lot of money lying around, although $50,000 for just changing the lighting isn't horrible. Office furniture, again, probably don't need to do that. Living quarters, if you want to spawn here, which I recommend now, trying to do living quarters for every single business that you can, except for maybe the Maze Bank, which I do just because I can, and I find it a little bit convenient, even though I have Del Poro Heights. But I would, especially for the hangar, especially for your location, buy the living quarters. I think this was like $100,000 for doing that one. It was a bit, and I keep forgetting when I go back out that it just closes that on me. The workshop to modify your aircraft is hella expensive. It's $1.1 million for doing this, which I haven't even bought that yet, and I'm not going to for a little bit. I'm only up to $1.4 million at this current moment. Until I do my grind, I'm going to earn about another $4 million today. But I'm thinking about whether I want to get this. If you want to modify your aircraft, get this workshop. Yes, so the living quarters and workshop are the only two I highly recommend getting if you're going to get the Fort Zancudo, or sorry, not the Fort Zancudo, the hangar in general, if you're going to. And I believe it's the same price with doing that. So now, what do you do in the hangar? It can store up to 20 aircraft slash like helicopters in that, and you use this as a place to store this. It's almost like a facility, yes, but with a business attached to it. Yes, so that's pretty much, that's going to be all I'm going to talk about as far as like just the planes and helicopters for the hangar. Yes, that's going to be the main reason why people want to buy that. If you're into that, buy it. I'm just buying it because I just want to buy everything that I can. The business aspect of this is called air freight cargo. Yes, and if you've watched other YouTube channels, I don't know why I am not a CEO or anything. If you've watched any channels at all on GTA, they're going to recommend you mainly not do air freight cargo at all. Yes, and I agree with that. I have even failed the setup mission here. Yes, I haven't even set this up. I've already failed the setup mission like 3 times because you have to go about 3 to 4 miles. Not horrible, just drive an oppressor. Collect a plane, which they like to give you a big ass plane and a slow plane in the middle of a freaking city and bring it back to the hangar just for a setup, which shouldn't be hard, alright? However, I just learned how to fly plane. I could do it with like VLANs and stuff, but this is a hard way to describe, but I can really feel the difference when flying a bigger plane, how hard, a little bit harder it is to do that. So I think I'm going to get a friend just to set this up, just to show you guys, but let me explain it because I don't have it set up whenever you do this. So you're going to go out, you're going to source I think 1 crate at a time is what you can do, and you bring it back and it'll gain money for you. Yes, and you can sort a certain type of crate that you want. And what I recommend doing, what other YouTubers recommend doing as well, source only 50 crates of one type of cargo. Yes, which means like narcotics, medical, and I think there's one other that would be beneficial, help you gain the most money. I'm probably going to do medical. Just do it all of the same type. Yes, and you'll get probably the most value out of that. But those 2 that I mentioned mainly will get you the most money out of that. Yes, if you do this business solo, don't bother. Yes, unless if you're somehow a great pilot and you can do it in crunch time. Yes, I've heard the missions, the source missions are terrible, and the cell missions are almost as bad as well. So if you're going to do this at all, do it with friends. Yes, and you can make a bit of money with doing this. Yes, each crate, if I've heard correctly, you sell 1 crate, it'll sell for like $10,000 for each crate that you sell. Not really that great, and it apparently takes a lot of time, like 10 to 15 minutes per sourcing for this. So solo business, not really. Multiplayer business, has potential doing this. As far as what I've heard and so far what I've experienced just with the setup, I mean, that's probably just a skill issue on my part. I am going to admit that I'm not the greatest at flying in this game. I can fly, but I can't fly the greatest, as you could tell since I failed a freaking setup mission. I would almost recommend not setting up this business at all, except for if you happen to have this hangar for whatever reason before you have a CEO office like a crate warehouse and you need it for your nightclub. Because your nightclub, when you source the cargo and shipments, that has you need either a hangar or a CEO crate warehouse. And if you happen for whatever reason to have a hangar before you have one of those crate warehouses, that's where this business can come in handy. Just set it up. Don't do the business. Yes. So the return in farthest. So as far as the business goes, I'm not going to recommend you do this. I just bought this and I just want to set it up because I want to have it set up. I don't like the idea of just buying a business and then at least not setting it up. With that I'm not OCD at all, but that bothers me a little bit. So I'm going to get a friend to help me with at least this setup mission to do. So I don't recommend getting the hangar to do air freight cargo. Yes, you're going to probably get this to hold your aircraft. And that's pretty much all the features of the hangar. Yes, it's really open. This one, unlike the facility, I can understand why it's so open. Yes, I truly can understand why it's so open. And it looks like that you can go up and around on that. Cool little feature if you want to feel like that you're like a worker going all the way up there. So, because this has to hold a lot of aircraft. Yes. So, it's fairly expensive and a lot to invest in. The planes are fairly expensive. The hangar's fairly expensive. And again, the workshop is also fairly expensive. But if you want to commit to this, if you're one of those people who likes using aircraft, feel free to get it. Yes, just don't do it for air freight cargo. It is literally one of the worst businesses in the game. And from what I'm hearing, I might do one mission just solo just to experience for myself. Not saying that I don't believe, but I just want to experience for myself how bad it really is. I'm pretty sure that it's gonna be pretty bad, and from what I heard, you could probably have more success and gain more money running document forgery than air freight cargo. Yeah. So don't get the hangar for the business. Yes. But look at this, pretty cool. Pretty cool. You can add some aesthetics to it. That's all I have for the hangar guide. Let me know, what do you think of the hangar? What planes do you have in your hangar? What helicopter do you have in your hangar? And why did you buy the hangar? Was it just to store this? Or do you actually do air freight cargo with friends? If you do air freight cargo solo, either you're goated or you're a noob. It's one of the two. Yes. And probably the people who actually do air freight cargo might solo are probably goated because they end up doing it. Yeah. So that's all that I have. My name is Hectic. See you guys in the next one.